So the topic today I'm discussing is climate change, the effects it has on the melting ice sheets in Antarctica and Greenland, and the issues of misinformation regarding climate change. So what we have is the sun emits energy, and two-thirds of this energy is absorbed by the Earth's surface, and a third of this is infrared radiation is emitted back to space, so it's reflected back to space. So we have a natural process that warms the earth, and it's called the greenhouse effect. And there's greenhouse gases such as carbon dioxide, methane, nitrous oxide, and H2O vapor. And these greenhouse gases, they trap the infrared radiation in the atmosphere, which warms the earth. So as you can see here, this is the human enhanced greenhouse effect that occurs from the influence of combustion of fossil fuels. So here is the combustion reaction. A lot of these fossil fuels, they have an abundance of carbon and hydrogen, so coal, petroleum, and natural gas. When they react with oxygen in the atmosphere, they produce carbon dioxide and H2O vapor. And when these increase, carbon can remain in the atmosphere for hundreds to thousands of years, and methane can absorb more infrared radiation due to its molecular shape. And when that occurs, the issues of the ice sheets. So ice sheets are massive layers of glacier ice in Greenland and Antarctica, and they are sources of 90% of our fresh water. NASA reported an increased global temperatures, and what is occurring is that the Greenland ice sheets are losing about 300 gigatons per year of their ice mass, and Antarctica is losing 118 gigatons per year. So if you see here, there's a lot of white area, and here, as you see, the red is where the ice sheets are decreasing, and in the blue areas is where they're actually increasing. So there's a net decrease over the years for the melting ice sheets. And when that happens, the higher global temperatures, when the ice sheets melt, they cause a rise in the sea level. So when this happens, there's a measurement that's called albedo, and this is the amount of sunlight that reflects versus being absorbed. So when there's less ice, there's less reflection. So when there's less reflection, more of this infrared radiation is being absorbed through the earth, which causes an increase in global temperature. So that is one of the cycle that occurs and the effects that are happening. So in regards to the issue of misinformation, so this is a misleading or misguiding of information. It can be deliberate. It's a deliberate distortion of evidence-based information, and usually this occurs from the fossil fuel industry. It can also be called fake news, propaganda, or denial campaigns. So why is it important to address? Well, it confuses the public, and it also delays litigation for policies. And also inaction within the government occurs when there's all of this confusion. So it's an important issue in order to have everyone on board and to address the issues of climate change, to reduce the emissions of fossil fuels, and other sorts of things that help the environment. So a lot of factors influencing misinformation, the political and religious views. It was reported in a study that about 53% of Democrats believed that the scientists knew what they were talking about in regards to climate change, as opposed to 7% of the Republicans that were surveyed. Personal traits, pre-existing beliefs. I guess if they were more prone to believe in conspiracy theories, they were less likely to believe that climate change was occurring. Age and education was on the lower end, so it didn't really show as really a factor, but they did consider age and education as well. So what can we do? There was a few strategies laid out. So information media literacy, so teaching people how to evaluate what's in the media, as opposed to evidence-based research as well, teaching them the importance of that. The corrective information campaigns, teaching people to fact check when there's something wrong, that they can make corrections. A lot of places now that's occurring, they're finding is through social media, so like YouTube, Facebook, X, TikTok, all these things. They also suggested having support and educational resources in the classroom, so having children learn about it when they're younger and having support for these, because in the States there's a lot of influence by the fossil fuel industry, that there's a lot of denial in that in the classroom. So also they suggested more research needs to be done in other countries besides the United States and Europe, because there's a lot of information missing from other countries, so a lot more research needs to be done in regards to that. So that's my presentation on climate change and the issues of the melting ice sheets and also misinformation. Thank you.